spoke on the police force. The precinct, the 75th precinct,
75th.
is especially around that time, 70s and 80s, was known as kind of like a corrupt. Did you know Michael Dow? Did you have experiences with
so Matt, I was just gonna say that, if people want to know, Netflix got a good documentary on the 75th precinct. Mm-hmm. So the provider, right? They were like Robin Hood, the police. They took from the plenty drug dealer and created those who got it, rid of it for them, drug dealer. So you had that going on. And they were like the middleman of what happened. And if you took care of them, your spot was able, it wasn't TV, this isn't Hollywood. You were able to flourish and function, and the guy who couldn't, didn't. So in those experiences, 75th was where I got my first arrest when I was around, I would say 10 years old, 11.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to 159 right on Pickens Avenue.
Okay.
And those bullies, I have 4 sisters, and I say it a lot. The drug dealer, the rich man, the poor man, all of them are working for something for that girl to catch their eye, right? And I have 4 of them to win over, and I'm an only boy, and I'm second to youngest, so the really thing is I had to be tough. Because, in Spanish, your father says, tú eres el hombre de la casa when he's gone. So I was the man at 9, protecting my sisters. And there was a lot of disrespect going on. And as a little dude, walking ball-legged and light, I had to do something to prove to the rest of the wolves, my sisters ain't it, And even though I'm small, so I caught my first case, with an attempt, it was a homemade gun and all that. But 9 years old, a tough neighborhood. Pachi, the name they gave me at home, wasn't working. So I had to create that idol, that image that was a little stronger, a little tougher name. And that's what, Tone came around and I started working. But yeah, that was my first experience with 75th. And then as I got more into that lifestyle, I started meeting the cops that were like, yo, don't worry, we know you, what you want to do.
Did you ever pay off a cop back in the day? You could talk about it now. It's past.
Yeah, well, it isn't I paid off. It was, I knew, they told me where it was at. I was that dude. You and your crew, this is where they at, this is where they're going to be. We know they stash it there. If you're willing to go, this is what we want. We leave that, you could go get that. And I used to shut down stores and spots that wasn't paying bills. So I seen it like, you can't extort me, but if you tell me where it's at, I'll shut it down and I'll take me, you know what I mean? So yeah, I dealt with cops like that, who turned a blind eye and give you information. But it was crazy because you don't understand, you really don't know that they're winning either way.
Yeah.
And at a young age, it's one of my most experience that started making me believe that everybody was corrupt.
Well, what do you think of cops now? I actually interviewed a cop, a retired NYPD sergeant, and he says that the police department has improved a lot since back in the 70s and 80s. He actually is from East New York as well. His name is Felipe Gomez. Yeah, he spoke about how a lot has changed. How do you feel about policing now?
So my program, we'll get to that. I'm in a new life. So one of the biggest changes was when you help people that are justice involved, young adults, you can't scream at the cop no more. You can't scream at the probation officer no more. You got to communicate because you're no longer, it's not about you, it's about the person that you're trying to help. So what I found out in this long walk in life that it's like every other thing. You got good, you got bad, and you got ignorant. The police force, like when you tell me, what do you think about cops? Individually, I think you find the good, the bad, and the ugly. But as an institution, it's a sad fact. They're almost as bad as a gang that takes your child. Because they don't want you to be Puerto Rican, right? They want you to be a police. And a police comes with rules. They come with the blue wall of silence. You never tell on a police, but they convince you to tell on your community member. So what I'm seeing, that is changing a lot. It isn't running rapid, that ignorance put in the police force. So I do this thing called the Police Academy, Community Police Academy, where we take the cadets that are being trained, and they got to do 3 days with me, Dr. Devine, and other community activists.
Who have served time before.
Served time or never did serve time, and mothers, but live in the community. And after they got that 9 months full of that training of what you're going to do to police the community, we tell them now, here's the 3 days where you learn where you work for the community. And this is how community sees a good police officer and how we see respect should look. So the black brother and the Spanish brother who was a cadet, so people could understand how it is. They're in my circle, right? And they came with when you start wanting someone to have sympathy for you and, yo, I became a cop to help my people, but it's my people now that call me pig, and and you could really feel he was saying like, damn, man, I got in here to change it. I said, my brother, I hear what you're saying, but they're not talking to you. They're talking to the badge. You came to change, but the badge hasn't. So if you take on that cross, carry it. Because change don't come on the badge. It comes through you showing the badge can change. So you got to be strong enough to take that, because that's 100 years history with that badge. You only got 9 months on the job. So they're telling you, are you going to become the badge, or are you going to be the man and who you are with a badge? So I told them, don't let that discourage you. It ain't you, right? If you're not a racist, then that's the badge. That's not me. And I know I'm in an institution that earned that. But as your beat cop, your Latino brother, I'm going to show you that I operate still with humanity in the way I'll serve you, because I'm your servant. And he was like, look at him, and the people seeing it, because I told them the same music. He comes here, and you heard what we're doing to him. So when you talk to a Latino and black cop, you could be the one who turns him to believe what they're teaching them in some of those precincts, that you're losers, you can't let them manipulate your mind. If you start seeing the grace and the love in them when they try to do something right as a police officer, commend that behavior. And you talk against what isn't right. And you'll see more Latino cops and black cops will stand in the precinct when they hear racism, say, yo, don't talk that here. I'm still one of them. I'm still Puerto Rican at heart. But I'm just a beacon of what a good Puerto Rican cop look like. I don't want to be Irish. I don't want to be in the traditions that y'all carry in this precinct. I'm going to break that shit. I'm here to change that ceiling. It's not an easy task. Like, when I wanted to change the Latin Kings. That shit just didn't happen overnight. I had to know that the Kings had a reputation. You get it? So
I get it.
When they say you were killers, I say, you're right. What am I going to say, right? But I'm changing that.
Okay. All right.
So that's how I feel about police, right? At any color. Brother, if you humane and you're doing it right and you show me the respect that you loving on my people, and you showing my kids how to get there without the cuffs, and when they have to get cuffs, you do it with respect and honor, brother, that's your profession. I ain't got nothing with you. And 99% of cops who had my case for the 8 years they were chasing me, that's the one thing I respect about you is business with you. I never personalized their job, and I didn't want to personalize my job. You get it? And that's how I deal with it.